First thing we got to talk about. Looks like there were some recruits that didn't end up heading their way to Ann Arbor. It happens.
How do you frame that way? How do you even frame that way?
There were some recruits that we had them on the list.
Oh my god!
And they just didn't end up making their way to Ann Arbor.
So after the June 9th visits,
yes,
until we've recorded right now, Michigan has signed 4 new recruits.
Yes,
Waffle, Jaden Smith, Michael Capana, and Amarion Stewart, right? The framing of the lead here was, there was a couple recruits that didn't go Michigan's way.
There was. It's not like I didn't say anything factual.
How is that the story?
It's the story for Ohio State fans.
So we got, that's a horseshit story.
It's not.
It is. It's a terrible way to frame that.
It's a different way to frame it.
No, it's a very skewed and biased way of looking at it.
Well, of course, because I'm the Ohio State fan.
Anyways, I will grant that Aaron Chiles is a head scratcher. I have no rhyme or reason for that one. That guy looked like he was so much of a lock that maybe it hurt him to a certain degree. Like, it was a guy who had to be held back from recruiting too early, as what was reported. So, like, I don't get it. I don't get the destination at all. I don't see where Florida beats Michigan at anything.
NIL?
Do they?
I don't know.
Let's ask DJ Lagway. Do they?
That was NIL with a question mark.
You know what I mean? Like, DJ Lagway said they didn't. This is why I don't do this. This is why we don't cover recruiting like this, because I can't get into the head of a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid. You know what I mean? I don't understand it. I don't see where it lines up.
Yeah.
Make it make sense to me. Who's sending linebackers to the league right now, Florida or Michigan? Who's winning games right now at all? Let's stop the NFL talk, because that's 3-4 years down the road. Who's playing winning football? Who's playing above 500 football? Who's going to the college football playoff most likely this year? Who's going to continue to vie for that spot over the next couple of years? Who's more likely to have their head coach that's currently recruiting them right now in the next 2 years? Hell, fuck the head coach. Who's likely to still have their position coach in the next 2 years that's recruiting them currently? Even some of the guys that you think you can win off of just the flat out merit of your school and, everything your culture is about. Oh, Aaron Child's mom is really high education. He's going to Florida? Yo, I swear to God, if I ever hear that for a recruit again, I'm running for the hills. Like, I've just been burned with it too many times. Oh, man. Nicholas Harbaugh's mom is a open heart surgeon, and his dad works for NASA. So, Michigan's really got the edge on the education side. Fuck no.
Yeah.
Fuck no. That seems like a home run pitch.
Yeah.
To a kid his mother is a surgeon and his father works for NASA. I swear to God, if I ever hear somebody coming in talking about how much academics means to them again, I'm rolling my eyes and I'm moving on to the next recruit. I don't want to hear it no more, because that's just not what y'all looking for. Well, I don't think. I mean, some kids, right? I don't want to completely poo-poo on it, because there are guys like Amir Herring or Luke Hamilton and guys that did value it. Like, I don't want to poo-poo the class either, because the class is what it is. It's at worst top 5, right? And that's if you're on a certain recruiting service. But most services have them still in top 3. We just signed 4 recruits. So I'm not going to poo-poo over it. Boo Carter was a long shot to begin with. I think
Boo Carter is actually from Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Which makes more sense than Aaron Chiles being from Maryland.
And immediately, yeah, he's from Maryland.
Going to Florida?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. But even still with Boo Carter, right, the fact that he had to get back to Tennessee the week of his official announcement, right, they had to get him back into to do an unofficial visit that week to try and reassure his commitment at that point. tells you how hard Michigan was pushing. To be that deep into a race with the top guy out of state, where there's a respectable program there in Tennessee, that was a good fought battle. We didn't get him, and then even still, as much as he play around with all of these recruits all over the board, I don't think that's a very firm commitment. And if anybody is a watch to decommit and flip, it's a guy who was at another school the weekend before he committed somewhere else,
and a guy who's been recruited to a defense that's not.
I mean, like, what? Okay, so Boo Carter is committed to Tennessee. Woo! Tennessee has one of the worst defenses in the SEC next year, and they go 9-3. Does that still feel firm as Boo Carter at nickel at Tennessee? You still confident about that? Same thing with Aaron Chiles. Like, I'm not one that like looks for guys to make their way back when they commit elsewhere. Like, if you commit elsewhere, that's cool. I'll hopefully I'll see the name pop up and I'll be like, oh yeah, Michigan was recruiting that guy. But I'm not. Oh man, just keep recruiting them. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you flip guys. Darius Clemens, Keon Sabb, Derek Moore, all those guys. Flips from Clemson, Oklahoma, right? Like that happens. But I don't count on it. But Aaron Chiles, what in the fuck are you going to see from Florida this year that's going to say, yep, that was the right decision? That was the right. I don't see what he sees now to think that that's the right decision. Like, I mean, damn, boy. They, some way, somehow, they getting some money to these kids.
Something.
Let me not disrespect him, though. Maybe it's not about money. Maybe, I don't know who the linebacker coach at Florida is, but maybe he's a hell of a recruiter. I just, it's a head scratcher. It really is. So I'm going to choose to lean on the positive from this weekend. The guy that, we picked up from Bishop Gorman, the running back, Capana, 70 carries. Pretty light load for a junior in high school. For almost 1,100 yards, I think. Sounds like 15 yards a carry. That's gaudy. That doesn't even make sense to me. That means he's breaking one for 70 every game. Like, every game. Okay, yes, please. I'll take some of that. It's we're probably out of the Taylor Tatum race.
Yeah, he seems like a USC.
Yeah, so if you're Mike Hart, one of the best running back coaches, I believe the best running back coach in the country. All right, we got the number one guy trending another way. I mean, a highly rated 3-star who's probably going to end up at least a 4-star when it's all said and done after his senior season. Who can get 1,000 yards and less than 100 carries in a season? Oh, yes, please. We'll take that. If you call that a consolation, I'll take it. Cool. And then adding to that, the idea that you already had a top back in the fold in Jordan Marshall, it wasn't a do or die for you to pull Taylor Tatum. That would have been like
overkill.
Yeah, that would have been like, damn, like they're going to be deep from now until ever. And I still think we're going to have a deep running back room with what we added. It's just you don't have the number one guy and also the number 30 guy in the class.
Yeah.
So
you guys got a Capana and a Cabana.
Cabana, yeah, we doing it.
There's no Cabanas
at the
Michigan.
Copacabana.
That's not happening in Michigan.
Na, 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 na. Ha. At the Copacabana.
What is happening right now? Buckeyes picked up 4-star safety Jalen McClain. Nice little pickup there.
Some more burnt toast.
I don't think
burnt
so.
toast.
I don't think so.
If Jim Knowles is teaching him,
I don't think so.
If he playing for Jim Knowles, some more burnt toast.
Plus, we've also made Brandon Baker's top 10, which
so did we.
Be saying a lot. Honestly,
I was about to say so did we.
But I thought USC was higher on his list, and they didn't make the top 10. So maybe I gotta look at Brandon Baker and see what's.
But you also said Oregon, and they were on the list. So.
They were on the list, yeah. So I mean, Oregon is probably still where he's gonna go, but I don't know. I'm gonna watch him a little bit more now because I completely stopped watching him when I thought he definitely wasn't coming.
I mean, Bennett Warren got a crystal ball to Michigan. He hasn't committed yet. Michael Uwaney also got a crystal ball to Michigan. Hasn't committed. They Brandon. You want that 6 offensive line spot? It's still there for you, man. I'm just saying. Top offensive lineman in the class. sounds like a Michigan guy to me.
I don't think he wants it.
Like when I hear number one offensive lineman in the class, that just sounds like a marriage with Michigan, you know?
But it's not
That's what it sounds like. But hey, man, you make your decision because we good.
Yeah, make a decision.
You let us know what you want to do because we good over here. You know what I'm saying?
Is that blue and yellow?
We already 5 deep.
Bullshit.
Already 5 deep.
That's what he's thinking. Anyway, Elite 11.
Sure.
Julian Saiyan, a.k.a. the Super Saiyan. I just want to get that out there because I know it's coming.
Sure.
People are going to start calling him a Super Saiyan, and I want to be one of the first to say that. I think I've heard RJ already say it.
Oh, it's happening.
But, I'm going to throw that out there. Anyway, Alabama's quarterback recruit that they got, he ended up winning the Elite 11 MVP, which is cool.
I mean, shit, if you'd have listened to 24/7, you would have thought their number one guy was leading the entire time. When they were putting out their top 5, day 1, top 5, Dylan Raiola, number 1, alpha dog. Day 2, Dylan Raiola, alpha dog.
I'm just so glad it wasn't him.
I mean, but if you were watching the coverage from 24/7, you would have thought it probably was going to be Raiola.
Yeah, that's why you got to look at multiple lists for it.
Ma'am, I don't think we need to look at this shit at all. I think we should let the guys that made it enjoy it and go through it as it is. They're obviously going to rank it out. But like this hyper focus on what's happening in the Elite 11 is boredom from the offseason. And that's all it is.
Of course.
That's all it is. So now I guess, boom, Alabama's got their guy. No, we ain't got to worry about them. No more quarterback controversy, baby. We got Julian Super Saiyan, baby. Woo! Yes, sir. 4,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. Super Saiyan. Tyler Buckner, move to the side. Get the fuck out of here, Jalen Milroe. Super Saiyan's here. Because that's what that means, right? Because we're determining these guys' career and how good they are based off of the pageantry and shorts with no defense.
Yeah.
Oh, but when we did have defense, the 7-on-7 portion, the guy that 24/7 was attempting to drag over the coals all damn week was number 2 behind Julian Saiyan. Oh, but that wasn't in the headlines, was it, Josh? No. You know what the headlines were? Jaden Davis struggles to stay afloat with nation's top quarterbacks. Aaron Nolan outshines him on day 1 and day 2. Is Jaden Davis better than Aaron Nolan? ? Click behind the paywall to see.
Well, Aaron Nolan and Dylan Raiola.
Well, no. I would have loved Jaden Davis to be compared to one of those quarterbacks so we can actually see it. But all anybody wants to talk about is Jaden Davis versus Aaron Nolan, as if these guys have had a lifelong rivalry, their whole lives or something. No, they're going to Ohio State, Michigan. We're bored. It's the offseason. So now we're going to make their future be dependent on the Elite 11.
Well, their future based off of the schools that they're going to.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. The Elite 11, how they do there, means absolutely nothing about what they're going to do when they meet each other. On the field, with pads, with defensive linemen trying to sack them, with offensive lines in front of them,
with DBs
throwing to covered wide receivers in an actual football game, not in shorts, in the perfect weather, with no defense.
You're right. It's just...
Like, if you were an Ohio State fan and you love the how everything shaked out with Elite 11 and Aaron Nolan, performing the way that he did, good on him. Mm-hmm. Say it right now. Tell me Aaron Nolan's better than Jaden Davis so I can have it on wax, so I can pull them comments and put them up on the board. Tell me it. Say it now. Put it on wax. Go ahead. Based off Elite 11, right? Cool, y'all guy won Elite 11, right? Stroud won Elite 11. He beat out Bryce Young, right? So put it on wax. Tell me right now that Aaron Nolan, not any of the rest of them, not Julian Sand, Dylan Raiola, whatever. I said Aaron Nolan because that's been the story, right? That's been all the hoopla. Yeah. Say it to me now so I can get your username and I know who to come talk to in 2024 and 2025, and we'll have it out.
Are we basing this simply off of individual performance? Or are we basing it on the game?
We can do a holistic view. We can talk about individual stats. We can talk about success as a starting quarterback, right? Because the guy who just left obviously had the individual accolades out the ass.
Yeah.
He just wasn't ever able to win the big one. Wasn't able to win a title or the biggest game, the biggest rivalries.
Sure.
So what would you rather have? You want a guy to throw for 4,000 yards, or do you want to win the games? Not the game, the games. Because C.J. Stroud doesn't have a Big Ten championship game, nor has he won a playoff game. So
who will we compare C.J. Stroud to? J.J. McCarthy? Because he played Cade.
I mean, he was kind of a year behind J.J., so I don't know if that's fair, because J.J. could potentially have 2 more years. He could have this year and next year if he wanted it.
And he played
so
Cade the first
It's not
game.
really fair. Well, but no, I mean, you could still. I'm saying it's not fair for Stroud. Mm-hmm. It's not fair for Stroud because McCarthy had 2 years. He could potentially have 2 years without Stroud.
Yeah.
So with Davis and Aaron Nolan coming in the same year, it's unique because it's really a head to head. JJ's more so to Kyle McCord.
Okay.
Seeing that they came in the same class, he's a year ahead of him, but they'll have 1 to 2 years to play head to head to see their seasons stack up against each other at the same time.
With that being said, though, just because Aaron Nolan and Jaden Davis are going in at the same time doesn't mean they'll both be starting.
No, it doesn't. But it's the same thing that it's the same thing I just asserted about Kyle McCord and JJ is the same thing that will happen with Nalen.
The actual seasons that they've had
that they can have against each other.
I got you.
And it has the highest potential of happening like that if you come in the same class.
Yeah. Okay. Aaron Nolan's gonna be better.
Okay. If you believe that Aaron Nolan's going to be better than Jaden Davis, put it in the comments so that I can put it on record. Just say it. Just say it. Because a lot of y'all want to dance around it and make fun. Oh, man, Jaden Davis. Look what 24/7 said about Jaden Davis. Just say it with your chest so that I can have a list of names to bring to the table.
Aaron Nolan's going to have somebody like Jeremiah Smith.
Okay, that's fine.
Who balled out at 0-2-7.
C.J. Stroud had Garrett fucking Wilson. What does that mean? What does that mean for you?
He had Chris Olave. He had Marvin Harrison.
He had Jackson Smith and Jigba.
He
He had absolute dogs.
Emeka Egbuka.
I think all of those guys, most of those
Stover.
guys you named are better than Jeremiah Smith. Most of them.
I don't know that.
Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba for sure. Cade Stover and Egbuka maybe not. Marvin Harrison Jr. for sure. At least 4 of those wide receivers you just named are better than Jeremiah Smith. I mean, at least the way it looks right now.
Yeah, I guess I just can't. Who knows what Jeremiah Smith's going to look like in a couple years?
I mean, sure.
But as of right now, sure. But then who knows? Maybe Carnell Tate is the next guy.
My point is, you had a Heisman Trophy level quarterback throwing to all those guys, still didn't get it done. So why would I be afraid of Aaron Nolan to Jeremiah Smith?
I don't think you should be afraid at all.
Okay,
but just know.
But like I said, don't be a coward. Buckeye fans, go ahead, say that shit with your chest.
Air coming.
Say it. Then don't go back. I mean, I didn't say it had more. I said everything. Stats and success. The measure of a quarterback is what you do on the field. And that includes W's. That's the most important statistic in my book. Maybe y'all thinking about something different here in Columbus. Maybe you enjoy the 400-yard passing games more than you enjoy wins. Maybe that's what the program is about now, right? Y'all enjoy the highlights more than you actually enjoy winning football games? Is that where we're at now? So if that's more important,
all of these quarterbacks are going to take us to the promised land.
Sure, okay, then whatever. Just
like
say that shit.
Everybody thinks that Kyle McCord, Devin Brown, Lincoln King Holtz.
Are they better than JJ McCarthy? I just want to get a barometer here. Are Devin Brown and or Kyle McCord, since you guys haven't chosen a quarterback yet, are they better than JJ McCarthy? Well, we already talked about that though. There's no sample size to judge it against. He hasn't played a season.
Yeah, neither one of them have played a season. Plus, if they take advantage of their weapons, I would say that says more about the whole team as a whole than just the quarterback specifically.
Well, then it becomes even harder to say who's better than who if you're saying that.
Well, that's kind of my point. Like I guess as an Ohio State fan, yes, I can't say for sure that if you put J.J. McCarthy in the same position with all the weapons that he wouldn't perform better.
I don't know, man. This started about Jaden Davis and Aaron Nolan at Elite 11. First of all, the fact that either one of those young men are there amongst the 11 best quarterbacks in the country and that there are some outlets who are trying to skew it as if you are somehow in the middle or in the back of that 11,
garbage,
that you're terrible.
Garbage.
Like, hold on, fam. Hold on. Did they say 1,100 quarterbacks come to Elite 11 or 11? Like one, not even a conference worth of quarterbacks. The fact that they're part of the 11 that are there means they are part of an elite class of player.
Nah, you're number 9. What the fuck?
What the fuck? You're the 9th best? Well, that's a pretty average guy. I'm sorry. Know what rules we're playing by here?
Bum.
Jesus Christ.
It's June 16th, or the weekend of June 16th. And so obviously we've got another huge weekend of visits for both teams. You guys have Aaron Scott Jr. amongst Andrew Sprague, who's already, is it Sprague or Spragg?
Spragg.
Andrew Sprague, who's already committed, and defensive lineman Jordan Thomas, 4-star from New Jersey, the number 1 player in New Jersey. Meanwhile, for us, literally the only committed player already is Aaron Nolan. But then we've got KJ Bolden, we've got Dylan Stewart, Edric Houston, who seems to be crystal ball to us already. The number 2 cornerback, Kobe Black, Xavier Brown. We got a couple of cornerback prospects, which for me is weird because literally the one player that we have that's already committed is our quarterback offense. So how is he going to be able to relate to all these defensive players to be like, well, I guess the quarterback is always the head leader of the team as a whole, but like, still, I would have liked to have gotten some defensive already committed players to hopefully swing some of those guys over. Somebody like Peyton Pierce or something like that to bring some of these guys over. But it is what it is. I think, like I said, Edric is hopefully leaning over to us, and hopefully
where is Dylan Stewart going?
Ohio State.
No, he's not. But like, seriously, where is he trending to? Because I haven't really heard his name at all in anybody's, well, at least in our area of recruiting. Maybe down south, maybe Alabama or something like that, Georgia.
Dylan Stewart is Ohio State or Alabama, according to On3.
Who's leading?
Ohio State.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the percentage?
34. So it's not much.
Weak sauce.
34-7 Ohio State, 30.3 Alabama, 23-4 Miami, and then it's single digits.
That's a free for all.
Yeah, so
that's a free for all. Well, no, you're gonna have to pay for them. Is what that sounds like.
We got it.
It sounds like you're gonna have to pay for them.
No, bro. We got it.
It's only you're gonna have to buy them.
Let's see. This other one, 24/7 doesn't have specific percentages. Oh, it has us listed as cool interest as opposed to Alabama, South Carolina, Miami, and Georgia as warm interest.
Yeah, bro. Listen to that list of names. What do those teams have in common? It's not wins.
They're all Southern teams.
South Carolina, no. South Carolina, Miami. Well, sure. Other than that, South Carolina, Miami, Georgia, and Alabama. What do all those programs have in common that's not W's?
Paying out the wazoo.
Jesus. It ain't hard to figure out, folks. It's really not. Miami does not belong in a recruiting conversation with Alabama and Georgia.
And Ohio State.
All respect to Shane Beamer, but neither does South Carolina right now. They don't belong in a recruiting conversation with either one of those players or either one of those teams.
Especially for a kid from D.C.
Miami? Like, it is so hard to call because there are, like, legitimately, like, bad teams killing it in the recruiting trail. Yeah. And so that makes it even worse because it's like, no, they are getting good players year in, year out. They got Collins Etchenpong from us last year. Mm-hmm. They are doo-doo water. And I don't expect them to be too much better this year.
Which is crazy. You get 2 recruiting classes that are really good just for you to not really do anything with it.
Like, yo, man, if I was blessed enough to have played Power 5 football, I would not waste my time being hot and losing football games. I just wouldn't. If I'm going to go sit and practice in football in 110-degree weather in the middle of the summer, I'm going to do it at a team that's going to be nationally respected. We're going to be consistently in the top 10 year in and year out. We're going to be playing on television to maximize my exposure to NFL scouts. I want to be playing with a NFL type development. My strength and conditioning coach is probably going to be the top things on my list. Position coaches. I want to either have like NFL playing experience or coaching experience. Like those are the type of things I want to maximize at a school. Like South Carolina's on the beach. You know, South Carolina's on the beach.
Yeah.
Miami's on the beach. A lot of attractive women. But if we're talking football, and I respect South Carolina a lot more than I respect Miami.
That's fair.
Because at least I feel like South Carolina is a program that's ascending.
On the rise, yeah.
Miami? What? Fam, you might as well went to Southern Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that's all you wanted to do. Go to ASU and go kick it, for your 4 years of college.
Yikes. Did I list everybody from, so Andrew Sprague, Jordan Thomas,
Aaron Scott. So, here's the thing. We had a couple guys that we were sure were Michigan locks, right? Or at least a guy that we were sure was a Michigan lock. And Aaron Chiles, they end up going somewhere else. Can we make that happen with either Bryce West or Aaron Scott? Because right now, the field is Ohio State. Right? If you can turn one of those guys, you have a potential to turn both of them. We just got to get in there on one. We had Bryce West here last week, obviously with Boo Carter and Johnson Rebel, and then we have Aaron Scott here this weekend. So Clink, I feel like his mission is to get one of them. That's step one. You got to get one of them back up on campus before they make a decision. Gotta get one of them back, and then go from there. But that's probably, in my opinion, what have to happen in the short term, because that's what I'm seeing is the trend, right? Oh, it seems to be trending one way, and then the school that was leading gets him back right at the last minute, and then he commits. Right? So if that's the logic behind it, you would want to get one of those guys back, be it Aaron Scott or Bryce West, after their visit at the end of this month.
I was thinking Johnson Rubel was coming up at the same time as Bryce West and Aaron Scott, but Johnson Rubel is actually coming out this week. So I was hoping if all three of them come out.
Yeah, bro. If we're a long shot, I don't know what y'all are.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have
we a long shot for Jordan Johnson Rebel. I don't know what y'all.
I'd rather have KJ Bolden, but who knows if we're for sure going to get him.
Yeah, that's the 2025 safety, right?
No, it's 2024. He's like the number one safety. Who's like leaning heavy Georgia, it seems, but
okay. We'll
see. Any other thoughts or anything like that?
No, I don't think so, man. Give us your thoughts on everything discussed. Elite 11, recruiting, off-season madness.
Recruiting.
Yeah, put it in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week for another House Divided episode.
Make sure you subscribe. Every week we tend to like to put out college football segments, so make sure you check it out.